Salt Lake City, a wrecking crew tore into a historic meeting house for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints early Easter morning before city officials brought that operation to a screeching halt, saying no permits were ever issued for the demolition, let alone on a nationally recognized historic building. ABC4's Annika Johns joins us live from what remains of the Fifth Ward Meetinghouse. Annika, tell us, what are the damages at this point?
Well, Courtney, as you can see around me, it is just covered in bricks and rubble and rocks and wood. I'm holding pieces of the meeting house in my hand here. And let me step out of the way, too, to show you a little bit more of what we're looking at. So some background behind this building is that it was originally constructed in 1910. Now, this meeting house, like you said, served the Fifth Ward of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Since then, it's been sitting here as a nationally and locally recognized historic building. But early Easter morning, city officials realized a work crew was on site tearing into the building with no permits and no approval for demolition. It's hard to miss the bright red sign calling for work to be halted on the historic Fifth Ward Meetinghouse in downtown Salt Lake City.
There were no permits for demolition. There's been no development plan submitted to the city.
Sunday morning, city officials say they received calls of an illegal demolition taking place at 740 South, 300 West, where an over a century-old building sits.
One of our city employees actually was driving by yesterday and witnessed the demolition happening, confronted the crew that was doing the demolition, asked them if they had permits. You know, they claimed that they had a permit, and they were like, well, we looked, you don't, and they got in a truck and drove away.
In 1978, after the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sold the building, it was added to the National Register of Historic Places, dubbing it as a significant religious structure in Salt Lake, which the Utah Historic Preservation Office says gives it an official recognition, but doesn't actually add any additional protection to the building.
It's an honorific designation. Doesn't prevent them from demolishing the building or, doing whatever they want with it.
However, the building is recognized by the city as historic, which does add protection.
The local designation means that as a landmark site, that any change to that property has to be reviewed and approved by the city.
As of now, the future of the building is unknown because at this point, due to the damage it sustained, it could be removed from the national list.
Because if it loses integrity like this, you have to make an argument that it no longer retains enough historic integrity.
However, the city says they're looking into what happened here and why permits weren't obtained or even requested by the property owner.
I think just the fact that somebody who's a known developer in the city had crews that they hired out demolishing a building on a weekend without permits, to us is enough that, it certainly destroys whatever trust the city has in issuing permits to that individual and following through.
Depending on their findings, all hope may not be lost for this building. However, what happened here, the city says, stands as a reminder of why certain policies are in place and the importance these buildings have to Utah's history.
If you come in and you work with the city, we're going to help you find a solution to what you want to do with your property, including being creative about how a property is used when it's historic, and ensure the ultimate goal is preserve our landmark sites.
Now, ABC4 has reached out to the property owner for comment on what took place yesterday morning, and we are still awaiting a response. We'll, of course, be keeping you updated both on air and online at abc4.com as we continue to learn more about what happened here and the future of this historic building. Reporting live from Salt Lake City, Annika Johns, ABC4 News.